I thought to myself, why do I continue to get this feeling that America, for the first time in its history, is getting smaller? And what I concluded is because we've had leaders who have led us to being small. Small by their example. Small by the way they conduct themselves. Small by the things they tell us we should care about.
So that is Christie, who is now officially running for the Republican nomination for the presidency. For how long? We'll have to see. The odds don't look good. I think that he would be willing to admit that. But you can see there that he is attacking not only Joe Biden, but also Donald Trump, calling him small. And it's going to get even more aggressive than that. But the reason I wanted to play that video isn't just to lay out that this is going to be a pretty, that clip wasn't super aggressive, but I think it'll be an aggressive candidacy. But also that was basically how he launched it. He's doing these like town halls in New Hampshire. He was in Manchester, New Hampshire there. It's expected that it's probably going to be kind of like a small, narrowly tailored campaign, which is funny because he's talking about how politics has become small. Well, he's focusing on just New Hampshire basically, which is a strategy, and you can save money that way. You can maximize your chance of standing out in one race. But before we move to more general stuff about his strategy and some of these hacks against him, JR, what do you think about this strategy of really focusing on New Hampshire?
Yeah, I was wondering that if it was like as obvious as it seems, because he was talking about how he came there, and it's because of you guys. We'll get to maybe some of the things that he was saying, but no, it's a bit of a different approach. And this, as we dig into what eventually will be his actual policies and stuff like that, we'll of course see the problems with Christie. But no, when it comes to maybe having an innovative way of going about this, he's laser focused on Donald Trump, as we can probably see here, but also talking about the things that about him, not just, he's this and he's that, and name calling and defending themselves, because Donald Trump is always on the attack. This different approach, I think, even though he's saying I'm in it to win it, it's maybe to dismantle that front runner and make sure that they finally get rid of him, maybe on actual principled terms that maybe even crazed Republicans won't be willing to get behind, because we know a lot of them don't. But maybe his niche thing is doing that, because we see guys that run for president and they're looking just to maybe get the vice presidential nod. It seems like Christie's here to take out the cancer of the party, which sadly there's a lot more of it.
Yeah, it looks like that's what his plan is. I think we're gonna have to evaluate how likely we think that is. And we're gonna be evaluating his efforts to do that along the way. But that seems like what his plan is. And like, I'm trying to think, JR, of other Republicans. I'm not saying that he has a good chance of doing that. I don't think anyone on the right has a good chance of accomplishing that goal. But is there anyone that you think has a better chance
of taking out Trump specifically?
Like if your goal was, I'm gonna run, I'm probably not gonna become president, but I am going to really hurt this guy and make it impossible for him to win.
You would have thought Ron DeSantis, because he just pulls that hard, not because he can do it or he has that personality to do so, but because he has enough of a voice. How many people are gonna listen to Christie, Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, Mike Pence? But honestly, Mike Pence could play that role if he started saying things that anybody gave a damn about, outside of I'm a boy from Indiana and I once met Ronald Reagan. Oh, you fine, we got it. And I kissed Donald Trump's ass for several years. True, bro. But he could have that position, he just doesn't there. I don't see anyone else doing it, but because you have to have enough of a bullhorn, and hopefully Christie does. At current point, he's polling what, like 1.5, but that's because he just jumped in.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.